I'm going to be honest, guys. I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping recently. So I've been trying to figure out ways to help me get to sleep. I've been trying those 12-hour kind of soothing sound, rivers, whale sounds, tried ASMR, not really for me, don't know how that gets people to sleep. And so I cannot tell you how overjoyed I am to finally find something that is so dull, so boring, that I know as soon as I turn it on, it will just put me to sleep. Now, obviously, I'm kidding. I would never rewatch episodes 1 and 2 of Acolyte. I don't want Disney Plus to think that I'm watching it because I liked it and I wanted to revisit it. So I couldn't possibly listen to it to fall asleep to every night. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I am not a masochist. In this one circumstance, I am not a masochist. I just want to really hammer home that I didn't think this was very entertaining. It was maybe, in a lot of ways, the opposite of entertainment. Just very dull, very boring, very emotionless. I don't understand how they made something with so many things that should be interesting, just not very interesting. I don't know how they made Star Wars so boring. It's just so... I just don't care. I've never cared less about anything. I actually feel bad about how many issues I had with Ahsoka. It even makes me think that Obi-Wan might not be the worst thing ever committed to film. Because now this exists. But at least when that was being bad with like the Leia chase sequence, or that time Obi-Wan had Leia under his cloak and they're just walking like he's got this giant human just clearly under his cloak and they're just walking through the wherever the hell they were, and all the stormtroopers are like, I don't see anything because I'm an idiot. Even when it was doing its most atrociously, incomprehensibly bad moments in that show, at least it was like kind of funny how bad it was. This is just like nothing. Like, I just don't feel anything. It's just a show where something would happen and I would just go, I don't care. It's just so dull. And it's doing so many things that I love. I love a murder mystery. I love Jedi. I love cops doing a detective thing. I love monsters in a cantina and they're all like, look at me, I'm a big monster. There's like prison breakouts. There's other things that probably happen or something. But it was just so boring. Like, within 15 minutes, I like had my phone out and I didn't even realize I was just messaging people. I never want to watch those 2 episodes of TV ever again. You couldn't pay me to watch those 2 episodes of TV again. That's actually deeply incorrect. Disney, if you want me to watch those episodes and you'll pay me to rewatch them, I will give it a very, very good review. I'll talk about that bit where the droids are like piloting the ship and then the robot cyborg guy does a thing or whatever and he shuts them down and they turn into the seats. That was fun. In fact, that was the only bit I enjoyed in the whole 2 episodes was when the droid turned into a seat. So this show has 2 main issues. One, all of our characters and all of our cast are like, we're meant to care. They think that we care, but they have given us no reason to care. Like, this is the starting off point of a new time, a new era, a new place in the Star Wars universe. And whilst there are like familiar ideas and things, like we understand what a Jedi is, what Coruscant is, and all these things, it needs to make us care about the characters that inhabit this new era, this new timeline, this new period in Star Wars history. And I just don't feel like they did any groundwork, any legwork, any effort whatsoever. They're just like, here's a Jedi. Here's a thing, and the journey is off and moving. And it's just so quick to get everything going. And there's no moments along the journey where people have moments and time to grow and flesh out their characters and make us understand why we should care. They're all just kind of standing around. And I think the second issue comes with that, in that, like, whilst they're all going on their journey and doing things, I can't ever foresee how we would care about any of these characters because they've made the creative, presumably on the writing and directing level, they've made the decision to make all of the Jedi just so boring, so emotionless, so devoid of charisma or charm or any kind of difference in personality or anything. They are all just doing the Mace Windu from the prequels. Emotionless, nothing, zen, chill, they just aren't fazed by anything. Like, you remember that time where Anakin's like, dude, that guy who runs everything, he's the Sith Lord. And Mace Windu's not like doing a Samuel L. Jackson thing where he's like, oh my God, and he doesn't react. He just goes, oh, okay, I guess we'll bring these 3 guys and we'll go like arrest them or whatever. Just nothing. Like, just emotionally nothing. And it's, I I don't understand. Like, I understand that Jedi were like that in the prequels, but just like change it a little bit. Just like add a little bit of spice, add a little bit of something. Because you can't just watch a bunch of charismaless, boring, emotionless zombie humans walk around like cops and just like be like, I got a lightsaber, tell me the thing. Like, I think the biggest thing that really shocked me was how bored Trinity was in the opening action sequence. It shocked me. And I was like, oh, I guess she's just not trying. But everyone else will be like acting, right? But no. And it's like there's a fine line of being zen and chill, and like that's like your type of character. Like, you're so stoic that you're not giving us anything. But there's a fine line of trying to do that and then it actually just appearing like you're just really bored on set and you're just not actually acting at all. And there's a nuance to finding that. And the nuance is no one tried, or they were trying and they failed. It hurts. I don't know how you fix it. I don't know how it's going to get better, because all the characters are like, this is how they want them to be. They want them to be these zen, emotionless Jedi. I've said emotionless too much, but that's what it is. It's just devoid of any interest or charisma or charm or likability. Just any type of personality that you'd possibly want. Just anything. Anything. They got nothing. Every single character is the same. And they're all played by, there's a couple I don't know, but everyone that I know from something else, I know can act. So it's not their fault. This is a classic prequel situation when Natalie Portman is mostly spectacular in everything. In the prequels, kind of wooden, kind of flat. It's this again, and it feels like we've come past this. Shouldn't it be better now? Shouldn't we have learnt from our mistakes? Or better yet, let's not learn from our mistakes and do the same things again, but worse. Because this is way worse than the prequels. I love the prequels. Bunch of nostalgia, but a bunch of just like, it's doing stuff. Like in the second one, Obi-Wan's going on a Jedi detective mission. This is what this is. But this makes you realize how good that detective Jedi mission was. This is just... it's just nothing. But there is that bit where the droid turns into a seat when it gets deactivated. That was pretty cool. Oh, God. Super boring. Hated all of it. Just completely uninspired. Just nothing. Just nothing. Just detective cop Jedis walking around being super emotionless, being like, oh my God, it's this lady. No, actually, it's this lady. And that's it. It's just that. The only interesting thing is that there are twins, like identical twins, and one is evil and one isn't evil. Yeah, actually, now I've said it out loud, it's not that interesting. It's pretty cliche, but I like the idea of like that in premise. In execution, it's kind of nothing. And it goes exactly the way you'd imagine it would go. I mean, it could, there's potential. There is total potential for that to be something maybe interesting later. It like shocked me that the people in the movie, in the show, looked as bored as I felt. Like, this opens with Trinity as a Jedi at like a bar, a cantina bar situation, and there's monsters everywhere, and all the monsters look super cool and interesting. And just like, as soon as it started, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. And then the evil Acolyte lady rocks up, and she's like, fight me with all your Jedi might! And it's just like, immediately it's like, oh, that's all wrong. That's all wrong, she's all wrong, the acting, the writing, the direction, it's all wrong. And then everyone at the table laughs at this woman. As you would! And then Trinity, like, gets up, and we haven't been introduced to her. We didn't get a 5-minute scene with her at the bar, at the diner, like, to make her a character in any way. And the only reason we should care that she dies is because she's a Jedi, and I guess we're meant to care about all the Jedi. But who cares? It's just some Jedi. What, there's hundreds of thousands of them? And you've cast Trinity. So I go, hey, she's from The Matrix. I love The Matrix. So I guess I love her. And that's it. She's given no character, no dialogue, nothing. And then she just gets up and we get ready for a sweet action Matrix slow-mo kung fu battle. And I legitimately don't think I have ever seen anybody in my entire life look so bored while doing something so physical. Trinity in this action set piece is the least emotional woman I have ever seen doing anything physical in my entire life. And that is saying quite a lot, because I have seen several women have sex with me. And so believe me when I say I've seen a bored woman's face before.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And I understand, this isn't necessarily the actor's fault. It feels like it's a script and a directional choice. Because it's not just her. Oh god, it's a bad way to start the show. But it's her and it's all the other Jedi. It's every single Jedi in this. And you can tell that some of the actors that aren't Jedi are like acting. They're like, look at me, I'm acting, whippity-boo. And like, it's not good acting, sure, but they're like emoting. Whereas the Jedi are just so stoic and emotionless and just bland cardboard cutouts of actors just standing there, just robotically saying lines. And it's meant to come across as this like, she's so zen that in the fight, she's like not even reacting. So she's just like, as she like does kung fu fighting, but it comes across as she's just super bored and doesn't want to be there. And like, I understand like the idea of being so zen that she just emotionally kind of takes out or like fights this person and like gives no reaction of her emotion away because she's so zen, she's a Jedi, she's emotionless and detached and all these things. But to create that line of being that rather than just looking really bored on set as she does this fight choreography, that line is like nuanced acting. And I guess Trinity, the actress, she can do that, I'm sure. So I guess she just didn't want to do it. Like, she just couldn't be bothered. She's like, I just don't care. As she does her Trinity Kung Fu. And she's like, you just get me in to do Trinity stuff? Like, to like fake out that I'm just a death at the start? To, like, you put me on the cover, on like the poster, and everyone's like, Trinity, I'll watch this show. But I'm dead in 5 minutes. Like, I'm not going to put the effort in. And honestly, I respect that. I respect that she's like, I don't care. I'm not going to try. I read the script. You didn't try, writer. So why should I try? And I respect that. But every other character, every other main character, they're just so emotionless. Like, Wolverine's daughter from Logan, she's in this. She's a good actress. She's so flat in this. There's like a line delivery at one point where she's like, we know you did the thing and poisoned the person because we have it on this recording. I like laughed out loud. I was so embarrassed for her. It hurt. But don't get angry at me. I'm not insulting a child in Star Wars for their acting. She's at least 20-something now, right? Maybe, like, she's not a child anymore. Sure, she's younger than I am, and I shouldn't be punching down. I shouldn't have done that when talking about a child girl. What I'm trying to say is her acting is atrocious, and she should be embarrassed. No, sorry. The direction and the writing should be embarrassed. The director should be embarrassed. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. Speaking of embarrassments, the end of the first episode has the reveal of the evil Phantom Menace. But, you know, just like a different one. You know, remember Darth Maul where he's like, I'm evil and I got a lightsaber. It's that. In fact, it's exactly the same as that time Darth Maul came back and was like, I'm actually not dead. If you haven't watched the animated shows, I'm alive in Solo. And he was there and he took his mask off. He's like, I've been behind it all or something or whatever was going on. And then Daenerys was like, oh my god, it's Darth Maul. But just in case you weren't aware that it was Darth Maul, he like has his lightsaber and he just goes, and the red lightsaber comes up and he's like, it's me, I've got my lightsaber. I turned it on just in case Daenerys wasn't aware that it was me and that maybe she thought my lightsaber had broken, but I got it's on and I'm ready to use it at any moment. So we have a similar scene where evil Acolyte lady, she's just walking down like, I don't know, some rocks by the beach, and it's a very plain, just dull looking day. The lighting is nothing. It's very unthreatening, very unemotional, very unsinister. Like you might want, say I don't know, villains. These are the first Sith ever? Or, I don't know. It's essentially, it feels like Phantom Menace again with like, maybe there was Sith before, but now there's Sith again and he's got a red lightsaber. And there's this dude and it's just all in wide shots from like 50 meters away. So we can't even see what this guy looks like, but who cares? And it's just so flat. The lighting, it's just, there's nothing sinister or emotional, powerful or interesting about this. It's just a super wide shot. And the guy's like 500 feet away and he just goes, oh, the Jedi, they don't even know how to do stuff. Or maybe they do stuff, but I don't like how they do stuff. Just like really cliche, generic, nothing dialogue. I've already forgotten what it is, but I hated it. And I didn't go back because I don't want like Disney Plus to think I'm like rewatching scenes because I like it so much. No, they're not getting those stats from me. But in case you were like, maybe that's a good guy. He's talking about how he wants to kill all the Jedi or whatever, but maybe he's a good guy. But just in case you were a bit unclear, he goes like, and the red lightsaber comes up and he's like, look at me, my Acolyte. Remember that I have a lightsaber. Why do you not have one? I don't know. Because we're doing knives. We're doing knives for a bit. Lightsaber. I'm the bad guy. And it's like, surely they heard the feedback from Solo when everyone went, I love that Darth Maul rocked up. And then when he lit the lightsaber, it felt like too much. It's too much. You've ruined the moment now. It was a cool moment. You're like, oh, lightsaber on. Why? There were no enemies for him. Like, who's he trying to intimidate? Like, what's he even... So this Sith boy, lady, Wookiee, whatever it is, this Sith dude, he's like, lightsaber, it's on. And the episode ends, and I was like, I'm giving it a go. My phone came out, but I tried to put it away. I'm like, I'm gonna give the show a go. And then that happened, and I'm like, no. No, if that's the end of your first episode, then I have absolutely no faith. Just pathetic. Laughably pathetic. It makes me embarrassed. I've seen better fan films. I've seen better fan films from, like, 10-year-olds. Yet alone those really well-produced fan films. Like, it's just... Like, that's how you introduce the villain? It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. You should be embarrassed, person who made this show. It's... Yeah, man. I actually feel bad for how much I, like, kind of put down Ahsoka and said it wasn't great. So much better than this. Like, Man, I thought this was going to be the Andor, because apparently the things that I hate in Star Wars now are like when they do characters, like beloved characters. You're Boba Fett's, you're Obi-Wan's, you're Ahsoka's. But the things I love were like Mando and Baby Yoda, Andor. The shows where it's like a character we don't care, and they give us a new character and make us invest and care. I know Andor was part of the thing, but I didn't really like Rogue One. But now kind of I do like Rogue One. And I was watching this. Any issues I had with Rogue One are not real issues, because Rogue One at least is like something. It's trying to do something. This is just a bunch of detective cops wandering around in the most generic, boring way possible. I would love to tell you my thoughts on episode 2, but I finished watching it 45 minutes ago, and I've already completely forgotten. The last 2 minutes, there's a Wookiee, and he's like, I got the Force, I'm a Wookiee, smash! And then there's just like a wide shot, and he just like walks into his house, and it's like, oh, the Wookiee went into his house! It's like, what's with this big, wide, ugly, nothing, boring, emotionless wide shots to end episodes? I'm meant to be hooked and keen, but like, oh, I can't believe there's not a third episode to like sink my stupid nerdy teeth into. Whereas I don't even know if I'll watch more of this. It's so boring. Honestly, in a lot of ways, I'm glad that this is terrible, because now it's freed up my Wednesdays and I don't have to watch it straight away to do a review, which I was like, not that I felt pressure, I was kind of excited. I was like, oh, if it's good Star Wars, that's good. Because we've got Hot D on Mondays, The Boys is coming out on Fridays. Honestly, I'm glad to have my Wednesdays, like, free. So in a lot of ways, I should be very thankful to Star Wars for making, once again, a terrible Star Wars TV show. But I am trying to put a positive, like, spin on it. Because, like, if I'm being super brutally honest, which I haven't been yet, this is probably maybe the worst one yet.